Hi everybody, good morning and welcome to the United Stand. It's match day. We're doing a watch-along. It's Liverpool, Manchester United. Can't wait for it, but we've got some good positive transfer news for you this morning as well. T-shirt bridge. There seems to be a lot of people talking about the T-shirts. I just throw T-shirts on. Like I say, I've had them for a long time. But we have got some big updates for you this morning in relation to Lisandro Martinez and Frenkie de Jong, and a bit of inside information as well as the headlines as to what's going on there. Also, a little bit of positivity in relation to Cristiano Ronaldo and Anthony. So, look, lots to be positive about this Tuesday morning. I think realism is important. I always say that, but there is reason to be positive as well. We're going to hit straight in with the big announcement from this morning, which has come from Fabrizio Romano on Twitter. He says, Manchester United are now feeling confident on Lisandro Martinez deal. Ajax are open to discuss on the fee. New contacts expected very soon after the bid rejected last week. Lisandro pushing again to leave this summer. Now, it doesn't necessarily clarify anything we don't know. We know that Lisandro Martinez wants to join Manchester United. We also know that Ajax want to get a decent fee for him, and we also know that Manchester United don't want to pay too much for him as well. But I think this is a big development, because what I'm hearing is, and obviously what Fabrizio is saying there is interesting, because what I'm hearing is that Manchester United are really confident on Martinez now. Everything's in place. Ajax are actually, and if you look, a European lad actually tweeted about 4 minutes ago saying that Ajax are interested in signing left-footed centre-back Mikhailo Matvienko, who's Shakhtar Donetsk centre-back, so as a possible replacement for Lisandro Martinez. So everything is starting to move in relation to Lisandro Martinez. I don't think there was any doubt that we would get this deal done, because Ten Hag wants him, he wants Man United, and Ajax were open to selling. They just didn't want to sell him on the cheap. I'm very intrigued to see what happens in relation to the fee with Lisandro Martinez. But what I was told this morning is Manchester United are very confident on Lisandro Martinez and Frenkie de Jong now. There has been major breakthroughs on both deals. In relation to Lisandro Martinez, the breakthrough is that Ajax are actually just not submitting, but basically accepting that this deal needs to be resolved. They need to negotiate it. Lisandro Martinez wants to go. Manchester United want to sign him. I think there's been a bit of an apology from United's side as well. The relationship between Man United and Ajax is good. And I think basically what Manchester United have done is said, look, ideally we would have done this deal a lot earlier. It's totally on us. We've been sort of blindsided by this Barcelona deal and how long it's taken. Our intention was to be here discussing this with you a lot earlier than this. But we do want this player, and we do want to come to an agreement, and he wants to come to us, and, you know, let's get it done. And I think Ajax clearly have decided that that's the way to work forward. It doesn't mean we're going to get a good deal for him. As I say, I'm intrigued to see how much we end up paying for Lisandro Martinez, but I think we can expect that deal to get done. I'm not going to put any time limits on this. Let the guessers guess. I'm not going to say we're going to have Lisandro Martinez done by the weekend or anything like that, but we do know that Richard Arnold and John Murta are not on the tour. We know that they're still in Barcelona, actually. We'll come to Frenkie de Jong next, and Cristiano Ronaldo. But Lisandro Martinez, let's get these negotiations done. I mean, can we get him on the tour? I mean, we're off to Australia. We're playing in Australia on Friday. We've got a game against Aston Villa a week on Saturday, and then that's our last game. I mean, if you could get Lisandro Martinez medical by Friday and fly him out, it's worth it. But if we're not going to get the medical done until early next week, there's no point sending him out there. If I was Man United, I would be trying to get this done. And I'm hearing that they are trying to get it done ASAP, because if they can get him on a plane for the weekend, he gets a week of training with the team, whether he plays in those games or not. So, look, let's see. But there seems to be a breakthrough there with Manchester United and Lisandro Martinez. So good news there. Definitely good news there. In relation to Frenkie de Jong, look, I'm going to give you some of the headlines here, and then I'll give you what I know. So we'll talk about Ronaldo in a minute. This is coming in from Auriel Dominique, who's been pretty good around Barcelona transfer news and the De Jong deal especially. He says it's now a matter of time convincing De Jong to join Manchester United. De Jong feels grateful for the offer from United, and he realises that Barcelona need to sell him, but he's not satisfied with the situation. So effectively, look, the general consensus when it comes to Frenkie de Jong is that the deal between Manchester United and Barcelona for 65 million euros was done a long time ago. The add-ons have now been sorted out as well, and this deal will be 65 million euros, which is 56 million pounds, with 20 million euros in add-ons, which takes it to about 70 million pounds. So that'll do, and Barcelona are very, very happy with that. The issue now is, and has been for a few days, maybe even a couple of weeks, is that Barcelona need to resolve the wages that they owe to Frenkie de Jong. Now, there has been a breakthrough on this deal because Barcelona and Manchester United are now in a position to convince Frenkie de Jong to come to Manchester United. And this is where it gets complicated, and this is where I get confident, and this is where some people are still not so confident. So there is still this theory that Frenkie de Jong absolutely does not want to join Manchester United, that he's respectful of Manchester United, but he wants to stay at Barcelona, and he's not going to join Manchester United. The reality is something different. The reality is he's never wanted to leave Barcelona, and we've always known that from day one. And that's something as a fan you've got to get your head around, because for me, you're never going to get a player like a Frenkie de Jong or a Kimmich if you don't bloody persuade them. And I'm not saying we're getting Kimmich, but I think Frenkie de Jong's a top-class midfielder. They're not going to go, yes, let me go to United. You've got, I don't like it, but I disagree with fans who go, I don't want him because he doesn't want to come. Why would anyone want to come to United? You've got to persuade them with the project, and our big project is Erik ten Hag here. So, of course, there's got to be a level of persuasion. But what I don't agree with, and have been told again on the conversation I had this morning, is that Frenkie de Jong and Manchester United have been in conversation for the last 2 months. Like, this is not no one's spoken to Frenkie de Jong, and this is not let's do a deal with Barcelona for 2 months and then see if we can persuade a player that doesn't want to come. He's open to coming to Manchester United, and as I said last night, I believe what Frenkie de Jong has done is just played this to perfection. He's basically said, I don't want to leave, I don't want to leave, I don't want to leave. Barcelona have said, well, we want to sell you. And then he's gone, I don't want to leave, I don't want to leave, you owe me money. I don't want to leave, you owe me money. So once that money's solved, he'll go, because he's owed money. And I think that that's the situation with Frenkie de Jong, and that's the one that we're hearing about this morning. And last night we spoke about it as well. There are major breakthroughs with Lisandro Martinez because Ajax are willing to sell him. And there is a major breakthrough with Frenkie de Jong because Barcelona are trying to convince him to leave, just like we are, which is involving his wages. I would keep an eye on Frenkie de Jong and how much we're paying him and how much we're paying off of his wages. I think United are so desperate to get this deal done. And look, there is a danger here. I like Frenkie de Jong. I think you've got to get Frenkie de Jong when the manager wants him. But there is a danger here. It is a marquee signing. It is a shirt seller. It is very expensive, and we have been here before. Like, the one that comes to mind is the last midfielder we did this with, Paul Pogba. But there's plenty of others. We've done this plenty of times over the last 10 years. Bought one marquee superstar signing and it hasn't worked out, or it hasn't worked out in the first season. I think Jadon Sancho is going to be a good player for Man United, but last season he was a marquee shirt seller and he didn't really do anything. So there is always risks. There is always risks, but that's not a reason not to sign Frenkie de Jong. I would just keep an eye on how much we're paying in this deal. I have a fear that we might be paying part of his wages that he's owed by Barcelona. I don't know whether that'll ever come public, but I have a fear that we will. So I'd keep an eye on what his wages are going to be. And remember, lots of people have said, personal terms aren't done, personal terms aren't done. I did a video 2.5 weeks ago on a Sunday saying that personal terms were done. They are done. Like, they're not been signed, but the wages have been agreed. The signing on fee has been agreed. The agent fees have been agreed. That's not the problem. It's the willingness to leave Barcelona without the wages that he's owed. And that the wages that Frenkie's going to be on will be north of 300 grand a week. And you'll see that when it comes out. Hi, Mark. Just wondering if the United Stand team will be doing any pre-post match interviews with the fans for the Australian tour of the channel. Yes, Liam, we will be there. Yeah, find us. It baffles me that Barcelona are allowed to be active in the market whilst they haven't paid current players' wages. That's why De Jong isn't happy. Surely La Liga will step in, says Sean Turner. Morning, Mark. Is it a possibility that the transfer fee will also go to his unpaid wages? No, I don't think it will, Mikhail. I mean, we're getting involved in Barcelona talk there, but the reason Barcelona want the 60 million from United to spend on players. They don't want the 60 million to spend on Frenkie de Jong, and that's why it's taken so long. Will Ronaldo have a chance to join the pre-season if he stays? Surely would be good for him to get used to Ten Hag's coaching before the season starts, says Ari. We're going to talk about Ronaldo now. Love the show, the reality bridge. Can you call my Liverpool mate Jim a prat, says Shen. Well, we've got the watch along later, so make sure you subscribe. Bottom right hand corner. I'm getting very excited about that. But look, major breakthroughs, honestly, major breakthroughs on Lisandro Martinez and Frenkie de Jong. I'm with you too. I'm not, we've got more than 2 people watching, but I'm with you too. Not 2 people. I'm with you. I'm not putting any time limits on this. I'm not getting majorly excited that we're going to get deal done anytime in the next week, but we might. But what I will give you is there are major breakthroughs. There is confidence coming out of the club. They do feel like they're getting there. I think before the weekend, they were crapping themselves. They know things have gone badly. And what we're at now is that, this is, I wouldn't say it's now or never for United, but it is. For Murta and Arnold, you can see by their behaviour, they realise that their reputations are on the line. They realise they're now being thrown into the same category as Woodward and previous mess-ups. And there's an urgency to United now. It will probably mean we overpay. Because I don't think United's transfer team is actually that good. I still don't think it's that good, and I think it's been proven that. I think it can get better and it can learn, and it's going to have to learn. There's been major mistakes in this transfer window. But I think one thing I will give them is I think they're going to try and rescue this transfer window. They've made loads of mistakes, amateur mistakes, I would say. But they are desperately trying to turn this around, and there is a real confidence in the last 24 hours that they can do. Lisandro Martinez, Frenkie de Jong, those two deals, I'd be absolutely stunned if we don't do them now. Never say never with United, but from what's coming out over the last 24 hours, I'd be stunned if we don't do those deals now. And yeah, I would say in relation to de Jong, the minute I saw Murta and Arnold out in Barcelona, that was it for me. But obviously I've heard a little bit more about that, and Lisandro Martinez. The only thing I'm going to say is, and the most important thing really is, when will they sign? Because I want them on tour. I want them pre-season training. I'm personally thinking about the game 3 weeks on Sunday. 3 weeks on Sunday is our first game of the season. And I'm thinking, if they don't go on the tour, I mean, literally, if they don't go on the tour a week, they'd have like 10 days before the first game of the season if we don't get them on the tour. Do they even play in the first game of the season? So we need to get them out on the tour ASAP. Mark, any progression with Anthony, says Perry Smith. I'm going to talk about Ronaldo, but I will just give you the positive story on Anthony as well. And Job says, I think a few players next season will come good. Rashford, Martial, Alanga and Sancho. So it doesn't bother me if we don't get Anthony if Ronaldo stays. I mean, I hate that attitude. I know it's... Look, I love that comment, but I hate it. And what I mean by that is that I love the comment because it's something different to what I think, but I can't stand the opinion. I can't. And not in a horrible way, not in a toxic way, but in a way, thank you for the opinion, but I completely disagree with it, and it generates a conversation point, because I can't be getting on board with this. I mean, I like Martial, I like Rashford, I like Sancho, and I like Alanga, but that's not enough. That's not enough for a season, even if Ronaldo stays. That's 5 forwards, and we play a front 3. You need at least 2 for each position. So Anthony is still needed. You've got to have 6 players for the front 3 positions, and we need Anthony. We do need him to bring in. And also, what I would say, Job, is that you're basically gambling your mortgage. You're gambling your savings on Alanga, Rashford, Sancho, and Martial. I mean, it wasn't that long ago that people were slagging Alanga off, saying Rashford's Trashford and Martial should be sold, and suddenly we're fine with them. I mean, I think Eric Ten Hag will improve players, but I'm telling you now, Luke Shaw, Scott McTominay, Fred, Harry Maguire, Lindelof, Rashford, Martial, they're not all going to suddenly be world class next year. Because if they are, we've got the best manager in the world. Like, it's impossible to take all of those players and turn them into world class players. Like, it is. And we do need Anthony as well as those players. As much as I like those players, we do need Anthony as well. Have we reached an agreement with Barca over the structure of the add-ons? Yes, Armin. The deal with Barcelona is... I think the deal with Barcelona has been done for a couple of weeks, really. I never believed that this add-on stuff was actually relevant. I think this is all to do with the wages owed to De Jong. Breath of fresh air watching Eric Ten Hag training session. The guy looks like he won't take any nonsense. Sancho got ripped for not making the required runs, says Shane. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Watch along today, and I think it's going to be one of the... Even though it's a pre-season game, I think it's going to be one of the better watch-alongs, because we're going to be actually watching the match and how we're playing and the structure. It's going to be good. Maybe we could say to Ronnie, see how things go until the World Cup, and you're still not happy, we can sell you in January to a club in the last 16 of the Champions League, says Glenn. Presuming one of them want him, Glenn. Yeah, definitely. But I'm going to talk about Ronaldo now, but I just want to talk about Anthony. With regards to Anthony, another story came out last night. Now, it was either James Robson or James Ducker. I can't remember who it was. But they've both been reasonably good this summer, and they're not the sort of people that will just put a speculative story out there. And they basically said something along the lines of that Manchester United are really working hard to get Lisandro Martinez, Eriksen, Frenkie de Jong and Anthony deals done. So Anthony is still part of the equation with some of the journalistic stories that we're getting there. And that to me is a positive, because I don't want Anthony out of this conversation. We need a left-footed forward. And this is the thing for me. You can say we're all right with Martial, Rashford, Elanga and Sancho. They're all bloody right-footed and none of them are good on their left. We need a left-footed forward. I think the only left-footed winger we've got is Ahmad. And Ahmad's probably not ready. I would be saying to Ajax, do you want Ahmad on loan for a year? I really would. I think it'd be good for him, it'd be good for Ajax, and it would be good for us. But the reason we need Anthony, not only is he an exciting winger that's played under Ten Hag and knows his system, which is worth its weight in gold, but he's also a left-footed winger, which we just don't have. It's like not having a left-footed left-back. Like these inverted wingers, or whether you want to play him off the left or off the right, as an inverted left-footed right winger or as a naturally left-footed left winger, we haven't got the balance in our front three. We haven't got a left-footed forward of the quality required. So Anthony is absolutely imperative as far as I'm concerned. I'm hearing if Ronaldo leaves, we want Dybala and Dembele from Lyon as replacements for him. Have you heard anything on this? Sean, I have seen the story about Dembele. Obviously, I'm up to date in relation to Dybala. What I would say is that they are both very much paper talk. And I wouldn't believe it. I don't believe we're in for this Stuttgart forward either. I just think it's all a little bit paper talk at the moment. And I think every now and again we do need that reality bite that not every player we get linked to in the papers we're in for. We're Manchester United, and it's normal for us to be linked to a couple of hundred players each summer transfer window. And we don't sign 6. So that means that 95% of the players that we get linked to, we're never in for anyway. So I don't really think Dybala... I mean, Dybala could be a desperate signing at the end of the window at some point, but I don't believe that we're in for that Dembele. I don't think he's of the quality that we need. I wish United was as rich as Lannister, says Spurred. Well, let's talk about Cristiano Ronaldo, because there has been some positive developments. Now, I hope you're checking out our morning video on tour. Adam's doing a show at about 7 a.m. most mornings out on tour. He's put his video out this morning. I watched it this morning when I got up, and I know he was talking about Ronaldo, and I thought, look, I'm still going to talk about Ronaldo on my morning show because it's me, it's my opinion, and I want to get it out there. So Erik Ten Hag, this is coming in from Romano. Erik Ten Hag is waiting to have another talk with Cristiano Ronaldo to try to change his mind. He wants at all costs to have Ronaldo in his team for next year. Ten Hag still considers Ronaldo a world-class player. I love this comment. I sound like Fabrizio. Ten Hag, he loves Cristiano. He wants him part of his team. But sorry, Fabrizio, it's probably not a very good reaction. But the reality is, when it comes to Cristiano Ronaldo, I love this comment. And you know why I love this comment? Because I am tired of the Ronaldo debate in our fan base. Get him out of our club. He doesn't want to be here. Yet you are actually going on about Frenkie de Jong, who doesn't want to be here. Like, make that make sense. But also, another argument is, yeah, he's trying to build a new team. He doesn't need a 37-year-old big up his own arse player. He's trying to build a new team. We don't need Ronaldo. And I've constantly said, where is this theory that we're better off without Ronaldo and Ten Hag starting something new? Like, Ten Hag has always said he wants Cristiano Ronaldo. And yet some of our fan base and the wider media have tried to do what they do, which is just make up a theory and try and make it stick. The theory being that Ten Hag doesn't want Ronaldo because he's disruptive and he's 37 and he's past it. Like, it's like someone knocking on my door and saying, "Do you want me to replace your Vauxhall Astra with a Ferrari?" No, it'll be too much trouble. It's a show-off car. I don't want it, and that's not the case. Cristiano Ronaldo is a player that Ten Hag's been really looking forward to working with. Why wouldn't you? I mean, he's one of the greatest players that's ever played the game, and he wants him to stay. So this is music to my ears because it's the truth. Erik Ten Hag really does want Cristiano Ronaldo to stay, and it'd be interesting to see if he can persuade him. Mark, does Martinez start? If Maguire's captain, surely he's not sat on the bench every game. Sorry, it's a bit off topic. Hope you're well, says Stefanio. I think Lisandro Martinez does start, and I'll give you the breaking news on why. Lisandro Martinez starts because he's a left-footed centre-back, and we haven't got one. I think people are getting confused that we're going to play Maguire and Varane. Maguire actually plays better as a right-footed centre-back because he's right-footed. And Ten Hag will want a left-footed centre-back, because the main reason he'll want that, and I can show it you in a very, very quick animation here. If I take Harry Maguire here, this is what Erik Ten Hag likes his centre-backs to do. Cover these spaces. Even Maguire's wobbly. Look how wobbly he is today. He's been on the beer, look. So he wants him to cover these spaces. Now, if you're right-footed, you can't knock the ball down the line like that, naturally, because you're a right-footer and you're going to be coming inside. So he wants Lisandro Martinez to cover these spaces, because that's what a centre-back does in an Ajax system. You cover the spaces, you cover the flanks. Now, therefore, I think Maguire will move to this side of the pitch and do it there where he can naturally do it, leaving Lisandro Martinez to do it there. So I think Lisandro Martinez will start. I just think Harry Maguire will start on the other side of the pitch, because I don't think Varane's going to start many games. Tom says, hi Mark, I'm worried about the announcement that Maguire will remain the captain. I think he's successful, which looks like he was forced to say that, says Tom. Look, let's just stick with something, because I was thinking about this and it does fit in with that. So Erik Ten Hag is trying to convince Ronaldo to stay. More importantly, this is coming in from Duncan Castles. Now, Duncan Castles was the person who broke the story that Ronaldo wanted to leave. I didn't believe it at the time, but fair play, he was right. Now, he's saying now, and I can't understand why people would suddenly go, he's talking out his arse, yet people believed him when he said Ronaldo wants to leave. Richard Arnold is working to persuade Ronaldo to withdraw his request to leave the club after Erik Ten Hag declared him unsellable. That's from Duncan Castles. And then the second bit, Richard Arnold is understood to have impressed Ronaldo's camp by the manner in which he has handled his wish to leave. So the determination from Richard Arnold to keep Cristiano Ronaldo at the club, and Erik Ten Hag's determination to keep him at the club, is actually impressing Cristiano Ronaldo's camp. Now, I want Ronaldo to stay. I sit here this morning and I'm like, I think the best transfer window United can get at the moment is probably a 7.5 out of 10. To do that, we've already got Malacia, you've got to get Lisandro Martinez, De Jong, Anthony, Eriksen, and keep Ronaldo. If they do those things, that's a 7.5 out of 10 for me, because you still haven't got the second midfielder and you haven't got the right back. They've got to do those things. We've got to get Martinez, De Jong, Anthony, Eriksen, and Ronaldo stay. That's what I'm looking at now, the famous 5. They've got to get those 5 things done. And at the moment, as we sit here now, I can't tell you there's been a breakthrough with Ronaldo, but I can tell you there's been a big breakthrough with De Jong and Lisandro Martinez. Anthony's still up in the air. Eriksen will happen. So we're sort of in a situation, if everything goes to plan, where Ronaldo staying and Anthony are the 2 unknowns at the moment. But if we can get Ronaldo to stay, and it's starting to look a little bit more positive, this is a huge boost. United or any side with Ronaldo in it. I mean, look at for anyone who's got an issue with Ronaldo, look at where we're talking about him going. He's not off to bloody Lazio or Valencia or Marseille. It's Chelsea, Bayern Munich and PSG. Like 3 of the biggest clubs in the world at the moment. So Ronaldo at Manchester United cannot be sniffed at, and I want him to stay. But what I would say is, and going back to that previous comment, if Ronaldo stays, I couldn't give 2 shits about Harry Maguire being the captain, because the real leader in the dressing room is Cristiano Ronaldo. So that, I don't really care about Harry Maguire being the captain. I think it's wrong. I think he should focus on being a centre-back. And this is what makes me laugh as well, is that you get these people saying it's bullying not to want Harry Maguire as captain, or it's not backing the players. Maybe I'm just not a sheep. Maybe I've actually already communicated this a few times, that I actually think what's better for Harry Maguire is that he's not the captain and he focuses on being a centre-back. I've been a captain. I've seen captains. I'm sure you've been captains and you've seen captains. If you're the captain of the team, you're taking on another responsibility and another job. If I'm Rafael Varane, I'm not the captain. I've just got to focus on my job as a centre-back. If I'm Harry Maguire, I am the captain. I've got to focus on my job as a centre-back, and I've got to focus on organising the team, and I've got to focus on communicating with the team, encouraging the team, organising the team. It's another job. And I've always said this, I'm not convinced Harry Maguire is good enough to be a Man United centre-back. He should be focusing on that. It's not anti-Harry Maguire to say, you're not actually that good as a centre-back for United. That should be your focus. You shouldn't. If you're not good at one job, why are you taking on 2? That's always been my issue there. But if Ronaldo stays, I don't care if Harry Maguire's the captain, because he's not really the captain if Ronaldo stays, because Ronaldo, is the captain of that dressing room. So look, I'm really hoping he's going to stay now, because if we keep Ronaldo, I don't care who wears the captain's armband, because Ronaldo's the leader of that team. Any noise when Eriksen's going to be confirmed? So Steve Locke. I'm not getting involved in any of that, Steve, because I just think you end up disappointing yourself. I'm not predicting anything anymore, because I think in mid-May we all made predictions that we'd get all our business done by the time we went on tour, because it was all about preparation, which it was. We failed to do that. I don't think it's helpful. What I would say about United is they're confident. There's been breakthroughs on a lot of these deals in the last 24 hours. But if we're absolutely being honest, let's hope we can sort it out and rescue some of these deals quickly. But we have, and they know this, they have failed to a certain extent, in the sense that these deals were meant to be done a week or two ago so that they could be on the tour. They're not on the tour at the moment. And I think by saying, oh, let's get it done by the end of the week so some of these players can go on tour, yeah, let's get that done. But realistically, it's Tuesday. We're coming up for Tuesday lunchtime. They need to be on the plane by Saturday morning at the latest. Can you see De Jong or Martinez being done by then? I can't. Eriksen should be done by there. I mean, Eriksen should be announced any minute. I don't know why Eriksen's not been announced, but I think we are going to struggle to get Martinez or De Jong on the tour, and probably Ronaldo as well. I don't know what. I mean, Ronaldo needs to be on the tour as well, but I mean, I don't know what's happening with Ronaldo. So I'm not going to put any deadlines on it at the moment, because I just don't think they're helpful. And ultimately, that's not our fault as fans. It's not Ten Hag's fault, and it's not the players' fault. This is the negotiations' fault. And whilst I'll applaud them if they can resolve this situation and turn it around, the cold, harsh facts are that we have missed deadlines on this. It's not the best preparation already, and we're chasing our tail. Overpaying De Jong and Martinez, we paid 72 million and 350k for Sancho, 89 million and 290k Pogba, with no competitors. Spending too much for a team who won't finish top four, says Yankee. And also, will you do a separate analysis? Says Sam. Will you do a separate analysis? Can't do it. Will you do a separate analysis video on Ten Hag's tactics after the per-season game mark, or will this be in the match review vid, says Sam. Well, the kick-off for the watch-along game is 2 o'clock today. So we will be live with the watch-along a little bit before that, probably 1:30 or something. What I'm expecting of the watch-along today is that we'll see two different sides playing. One in the first half, one in the second half. And I think Liverpool will do that as well. Absolutely got no problem with that, because the more players you see, especially some of the younger players, the better. But in both halves, I will be talking about on the watch-along how the defensive line works, how the keepers work in that system, how many chances we're creating, how good we are on the ball. There'll be a lot to analyse tactically, and we'll be able to do it in real time because we're doing a watch-along. So yeah, looking forward to that very much so. Make sure you subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. Hi Mark, the only thing I'm worried about is for Maguire to be captain, he has to be on the pitch, and I hope Ten Hag doesn't do that, says Jose. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to go over old ground, but I do believe that Maguire will play right centre-back, Lisandro Martinez will play left centre-back, and Varane will spend a lot of time on the treatment table. Ideally, I think if Varane stays fit, you've got to play Varane and Lisandro Martinez. I mean, some people have spoken about him playing three centre-backs. I'd be stunned if that is Ten Hag's plan, because it's not really how he played with Ajax at all. But it doesn't mean he can't come up with a new system. I hate this transfer window, but I love the feeling of having a new manager with something a bit different about him. Excited but nervous, says Nav. I think that today's game against Liverpool is probably one of the biggest test of Ten Hag's career so far. And there's going to be many more tests. Obviously, in a month's time, when we're playing our first game of the Premier League season, that's bigger, way bigger than the test today. But this is our first chance to watch a competitive game, albeit a pre-season friendly. It's still a competitive game of Ten Hag's. And he can't go out there and lose 6-0. So... and we're not going to go out there and win 6-0, I don't think. So it's a competitive game to really take a look at things. And as a prediction, I purposely didn't do a preview, because I think a preview is an absolute waste of time. How can you preview a game where you don't know what the opposition are going to play, and you don't know what you're going to play, and you don't know what the intensity is going to be, and you don't know what fitness levels everybody's got? I think a preview is a waste of time. So I didn't do one. But what I would say on here is, This game is nothing more than a tactical glimpse of what we've recruited as a manager and our players' ability to adapt to that system. Ten Hag's style of football is very distinctive and it's very exciting. It's high possession, it's high press, and it's impressive if it works. But he's never done it in the Premier League. So I'm excited today because I'm expecting to see a Manchester United style of football that we probably haven't seen in a decade. One that's exciting and something to be proud of. Now, the level of what I don't know how that's going to hit today. We might just do it from day one. There might be 10 minutes where we do it. There might be little bits where we do it, or we might not be able to do it at all because it might not work for a while. It might take a bit of tweaking, but I'm excited to see it. What about the Stuttgart striker? Sky Germany tweeted regarding Man United's interest in him seriously. So this is Kaladzic, isn't it? The Austrian 25-year-old who's about 6'7", 1 year left on his contract. Spoke about him last night, Sparsh. I don't actually think we're in for him. I don't. I think I might be wrong, but I think he's one of those players that you get linked to in the summer that we're not actually in for. What they're trying to do here is Stuttgart are trying to find a buyer. That's what they're trying to do. And we've seen this with Man United a couple of times already this summer. We get linked to a player that we're not actually in for. When you read it deeper, I think Brighton are in for him, Southampton, another mid-table club. I just don't think United are in for this player. But and the reason I don't think we're in for him is because I think it's a Rangnick target. I don't think it's a Ten Hag target. Mark, have you seen the team that concedes in training does push-ups as punishments as Mikel Roach? Good. We used to do that when I was training as a kid. When Martial puts away 3 goals today, I want to see you screaming Martial with your shirt off. The rise of Martial starts today, says Nav. Look, I'm all for it. I'm all on board for this. I'm all on board for Rashford scoring a worldie and Sancho playing like he's prime Messi and all that. But you know what? I'll enjoy the moment and I'll sing, Bangkok Century Cup winners, you'll never sing that. But on a reel, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if we get stuffed. It doesn't matter if we win. We're not winning the league if we beat Liverpool today, and we're not getting relegated if Liverpool smashes. The result doesn't matter. But we're all human beings. If we win, it's natural to think, yes, this is it. If we lose, it's natural to go, we're in trouble. We're not in trouble if we lose, and we're not winning the league if we win. It's pre-season. There's so many... Liverpool might purposely only play at 60% capacity. They might purposely only be at 60% fitness and we might be at 75%. I've watched so many pre-season games in my life. I've seen Jesse Lingard look like he's the world's best player because he's got natural fitness and his fitness levels are better than everybody else's in early July. I've seen pre-season Pirlo look like he's, prime Kevin De Bruyne and then he becomes prime Kevin from Home Alone, goes missing in the normal season. So I don't take a massive note of pre-season performances by players. What I do take a note of is the tactical setup of the team, because that is something that all Ten Hag will want from this game today. And you want to win, but as a manager in a pre-season game, all you want is a bit of competition, fitness in the legs, but most of all, you're trying to get the way you want to play across to your players. And if we lose 3-0 today, but the players keep that high line, keep a lot of possession, create a lot of chances, I think Ten Hag would be really happy with them. And that's what I'm looking for. What if we beat Liverpool 2-0, but we do it on the counter? And that's what I mean, really. I should have done a preview, really, because I should have spoke about stuff like this. But what if we beat Liverpool today? They have 80% possession. They hit the post 4 times, but we hit them on the break once and we get a lucky penalty and we win 2-0. We beat Liverpool, but it doesn't mean anything because Liverpool played better than us and we were a bit lucky. What if we lose 2-0, Liverpool get lucky, but we have more possession than them, we play really good football and we hit the post twice? See, that's what I mean. I'd rather lose 2-0 in them circumstances than win 2-0 in the counter-attack circumstances. And that's why it's about how we play. Today. After watching United last season, I needed a grief counsellor, says Tom. However, he died the other day. He was so good, I didn't even care, says Tom. And of all the games, I wish it wasn't Liverpool, but it at least gives us a glimpse of the league run, but hopefully with more players brought in, says Paul United. I think the fact that we're playing Liverpool later just adds a bit of glamour to it, but I can't predict how it's going to go today because I just don't know It depends on what you match up as well. I mean, hopefully Liverpool will pick their stronger team against our stronger team, and then the second half will be 2 reserve teams. But Klopp might play half his first team in the first half and half in the second half. Ten Hag might play all of his first team in the first half and his reserves in the second half, which impacts on the game. I don't know whether they have a little chat and say, should we do this, should we do that? I don't think that happens. But it's a 2 o'clock UK kickoff, so we're going to be live in about 3.5 hours. Make sure you subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. I'm really excited about it. Nathan says, sorry, this is my opinion, but I don't like it when you say about a target that other big clubs aren't in for them. But when we got Wijnaldum, no club wanted him, and no one thought he was good enough, says Nathan. So, are you a Liverpool fan? I don't know what you're talking about there, Nathan. I mean, I feel at the moment that there are some fans out there that if we were living in a Star Wars world, you'd be Siths, because you live in absolutes, good or evil. Like, you're either with the manager or you're against the manager. I mean, that's just like the whole world. The real world lives in between. You can love something, but I mean, I loved watching Stranger Things, but there was aspects about the last 2 episodes I didn't like. But I love Stranger Things. No, you don't like Stranger Things. You don't like Stranger Things because you either love it or you hate it. You can't like it and then not like things about it. No, you can't do that. And I'm like, and I know what you're talking about, Nathan. You're talking about the fact that I've said no big clubs are in for Dybala, so we shouldn't sign him. But I don't think that about every signing. I'm actually thinking about Dybala there. Like, there's players that, like Lisandro Martinez, Man City don't want him, Liverpool don't want him, Chelsea, Bayern Munich, they don't want him. I want him. So there's no big clubs in for Lisandro Martinez, because Man United and Arsenal aren't big clubs at the moment. We're not even in the top 4. So I want Lisandro Martinez, and there's no big clubs after him. Dybala, I question why there's no big clubs after him. My main issue with Dybala is he's not really what Ten Hag wants, which is what we should be doing. And also his injury record in the last season has been really bad. So, yeah, look, I think some people really struggle with the fact that that I and many others don't live in a world of absolutes. Like, I think it's robotic to be honest. You've either got to absolutely back something or absolutely not back something. And basically, this is what some people would have you believe. If you disagree with something Ten Hag does, you're Ten Hag out, apparently. Even though you're not, and you've never said it, they've decided you're Ten Hag out if you don't like the fact that he's given Harry Maguire the captaincy. I mean, what sort of world? How thick are people? Like, I don't get it. I just don't get it. You know, if I get a roast dinner from the pub on Sunday, and I like the roast potatoes, and I like the beef, and I like the gravy, I like the carrots, but I don't like the peas. Oh, I'll take it back. You don't like a roast dinner then? I do. I just don't like the peas. No. You either to like a roast dinner, you've got to like everything on the plate. Otherwise, you don't like roast dinners. Well, no, I love roast potatoes. I like the beef and I like the carrots. Just don't really like the peas much. Well, you don't like a roast dinner then? You don't like a roast dinner. Take it away. Getting beans on toast. All right, but don't put any butter on it. Oh, you don't like beans on toast either because you don't like butter on your toast. No, I like the beans and I like the toast. I just don't really like the butter. Yeah. I know. Anyway, we could go on and on about that. But you know what? On a serious note, always stand by your opinion and don't be bullied out of your opinion by people that say that you're not allowed to have it, because you are allowed to have it, especially when it comes to football. We will be live for the watch along. I'm pumped up. I'm excited for this. Make sure you subscribe. Bottom right hand corner. The Goldbridge United Stand watch along is back. It's Manchester United against Liverpool. It's Ten Hag's first football match as Manchester United manager. I can't wait. I've got my pen and paper ready for my notes, the tactics, the lines, the possession, the triangles. Yeah, let's bring it on. Can't wait. Thanks everyone for watching. And on top of that, remember, big breakthrough in the last 24 hours with Frenkie de Jong and Lisandro Martinez. Yeah, you can expect those big deals to happen. I'm not going to tell you when, but you can expect them to happen. Real confidence around that. And also, Ronaldo. Look, it's looking good that he might stay. Smash a like. Speak to you all in a bit. Don't forget the watch along. Really looking forward to it.